Alright, so Record of Ragnarok chapter 109. This chapter is pretty awesome. It's probably the best entrance we've ever seen for a fighter in the series. Fitting that it would be Odin himself descending into the arena. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a like on this video so you stay on this side of the Record of Ragnarok algorithm so you never miss an upload. Shout out to the members. We got a few new ones last month, so I want to shout them out and appreciate what they have contributed to the channel. And now, let's get into it. The first narration says, ignorant masses, trifling gods, he looks down on them all. Epic shot. Some of the gods in the crowd say, you can't be serious, is that really who I think it is? Odin's aura is crazy. Kintoki staring him down from the battlefield. Heimdall says, this much pressure before the match even begins, I need to get out of here as quick as possible. But you can't run away from your purpose, is what he thinks. Pay close attention. Gaze upon his regal figure. He has arrived and his descent is imminent, says Heimdall. He presides over war and death. He knows all. There exists no secrets from him. All gods tremble before him, the supreme god of Valhalla, Midgard, and Helheim. And as he's going on, you see people bowing, Forseti bowing, gods bowing, praying down to Odin, showing him reverence in one of the coolest panels we've ever seen. And they're chanting his name, Odin, 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 Har Odin, All-Father Odin, Har Odin the High One, All-Father Odin, All-Father. This god has been bestowed with more than 200 names and titles. Grimnir Odin, the Hooded One, Aegir Odin, the Terrible One, Runetyr Odin, God of Runes. Anything that faces the end of his spear will surely be destroyed. Wielding the legendary demon spear Gungnir, he swept through battlefields, teeming with soldiers as if commanding a godless wasteland. So there you have it. We have confirmation he's going to be using Gungnir in this fight and not Gram the sword. Let me know if you guys think the sword will make an appearance before this fight concludes. All this is happening as he descends down, flutters down from the sky, and he finally lands gracefully. It looks as if the wings that we see were actually the wings of his ravens, but I don't know if they merged with him at that point, but they clearly shrink down. Like the wings that we saw in Odin were far larger than what we see when they fly up away. And they're speaking out and they're saying, foolish humans defying the gods, beg for forgiveness. Fighting for the gods in round 12, the supreme god of the Norse pantheon and the strongest god of war in Valhalla, Odin. And when Heimdall says this, Odin rips off his cape, throws it in the sky. Hilda's shocked, there's aura everywhere, and his eye starts glowing, and then his face starts like deteriorating, and then he starts transforming into this beast. And it is like a prime variation of Odin. He takes on a new form. He looks extremely young and youthful. And this is Supreme God Odin in his battle mode. Looks awesome. Really cool. We're going to obviously have to find out what this is, why he's doing this, and how it's possible. One thing I find interesting about this is that when he was poised to fight with Beelzebub and Buddha, he did not transform. Now, obviously you can say the author might have just been saving it for the fight, but I do find that a little bit interesting. I also think and wonder if we saw Old Man Odin fighting for a bit in the fight, potentially getting outclassed by Kintoki. If he did this mid-fight, could that have even been a better plot twist? Especially given that we kind of saw glimpses of Old Man Odin scrapping before. So we'll have to see what ends up happening mid-fight. Maybe that's going to be reserved for when he pulls out the sword or the other primordial runes come forth. Maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't, who knows. But just some thoughts that went through my mind. The crowd is shocked. They're like, what the? He looks so different. No, more than that, it feels different. Just from looking at him and from all the way back here, it's enough to make us all shake. We could win, or we can put up a fight. It's impossible to even consider such things anymore. So they had all this hope when they saw Kintoki, but it all faded away when the supreme god Odin made his presence felt. For humanity who were birthed by the gods, no, even the gods themselves could instinctively understand. Some of the gods are like, I can't even breathe. So that's Lord Odin's true form. This is my first time seeing it. And the narration says that this is supreme, sacred, and inviolable. Zeus himself looks shocked, and he says something very interesting. He's like, so that's his battle form, huh? And Hilda says, my first time seeing it too. So Zeus has never actually seen Odin in battle, so he doesn't even know his true power. That's pretty interesting. Shiva says, haha, awesome. Didn't seem like he knew. Thor, it does look like he has seen this. At least that's my gauge on it. I mean, Thor hasn't really ever been that animated, but he doesn't even look phased in the slightest by this. Ares gulps, Aphrodite looks shocked, and Heimdall screams out the words fight as we get the traditional stare down shot between Odin and Kintoki here. Kintoki loads up his axe and Odin just stares at him, says, I wondered who my opponent would be. For it to be you from back then, an insect, nothing more than Buddha's errand boy. And it kind of trails off. He stops himself and says, however, that girl is quite cheeky. You were the one she chose to defeat me, I believe. So show me your so-called strength. I like that because a lot of people were saying that from the beginning. Maybe the author took note of some people's comments that people were like, oh, is Kintoki just Buddha's errand boy? That's why I think potentially last chapter the author was like, nah, like they actually are kind of rivals, but that's acknowledged here a little bit. And Kintoki smirks, says, supreme god of the Norse pantheon, huh? You really have the most overblown nickname. He obviously heard all that shit that Heimdall was saying. And it almost looks like some of the dark aura around Odin kind of goes away. And Odin's like, what? And this rune on Kintoki's hand starts glowing extremely bright. He's like, I already know. I know your despair. Heimdall's like, wait, what? Socket of Kintoki, his hand is giving off such a bright light. And Odin recognizes the symbol immediately. He's like, that symbol, no, that rune. And his eye starts reacting to it. He looks extremely pissed off. He's like, you. And Kintoki knows what he's talking about, obviously. He's like, damn straight, I also inherited the will of Golnir. Odin then says Golnir, and Kintoki's gripping on the axe even harder. He's like, if you resurrect the primordial gods, I don't know what you're planning on doing, but every drop of blood in my veins is telling me that I have to stop you. And the last narration says the mysterious symbol emerges. The aura from Odin almost looks like it's completely going away, and now the entire arena is filled with the aura of Kintoki. This is crazy and a huge development. I don't know what that rune is specifically. Haven't really seen an explanation on it. If you guys know what it means, let me know in the comments below. But the Book of Golnir obviously was tied to the primordials. Does this mean that he's tied to one of the primordials? Potentially, you know, one of the ones that was hooded. I don't know who this could be. I don't know if it's tied to one of the other ones of Yggdrasil. It doesn't seem like it, but maybe it's another primordial that they'll get into. I'm not sure, but it looks like Kintoki was tailor-made to fight Odin, potentially for this reason. He knows about the primordials. What is going to happen in this fight? I think it's going to be an epic, epic battle. Can't wait to cover the rest of it. That is the chapter, though. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do so. Drop your comments and theories on what you think is going to happen. And I'll catch you guys all in the next video. Peace.